Arriving home. The next morning we wake up and take a shower, before getting dressed in comfy clothes for our day of travel. I'm in black leggings and an oversized long-sleeve red shirt with tennis shoes and my hair in a messy bun. Liam has sweatpants and a long-sleeve black shirt on. After the guards load all our bags into a black SUV, we get into the backseat of a second SUV, with Noah driving and Marina in the passenger seat. We drive the short distance to the private airport and pull up next to a private jet. As I get out and climb the stairs, holding Liam's hand, I'm shocked at the sheer size of it. "Is this yours?" I ask him. "It's the royal family's," he replies. We enter a large main cabin with a few captain's chairs and a couch on the opposite side, where Alec and Nadine are sitting. "Good morning, you two." They greet us with hugs and Liam sits in one of the captain's chairs, while I sit beside him. They greet Noah and Marina the same, and they sit in front of us. "I'm so glad to have two more females at the royal estate," Nadine says, smiling warmly. The flight crew close the door and we buckle in. I'm nervous and hold Liam's hand tightly. "It's fine, love, squeeze as tightly as you need to," he whispers so only I hear him. The plane takes off and it's not as terrifying as I imagined, but mainly cause Liam's with me. Once we reach flying altitude, the seat belt light goes off. But before we can even get out of our seats, there's a ringing sound. "What is that?" I ask. "It's the face chat, it's the Queen," Liam replies and rolls his eyes as Alec presses a button on a tablet, and the Queen appears on the wall. "My sons are finally returning home," she asks and looks at Alec, Nadine, and then Liam. "I can see why she's Queen. She is not one to mess with." "Yes, Mother. I'd like to present my soul mate and wife Leah," Liam says and smiles at me lovingly. "Sweetheart, please meet my mother, Queen Sophia Caputo." I look at the Queen as I tell her it's a pleasure to meet her. The Queen just stares at me in shock, although I'm not sure why. After a few minutes, Liam speaks up. "Mother," he says, and it snaps the Queen out of her staring. "I apologize, my dear. It's wonderful to meet you. I look forward to meeting in person when you arrive," she says and smiles, which I can tell from Alec, Nadine, and Liam's expressions isn't common. "I look forward to that as well, Your Highness," I reply. The Queen says goodbye and ends the feed. Liam stands and takes my hand. "Come with me, gorgeous, let me show you the bedroom," Liam says, and I follow him towards the back. "Don't be too loud," Alec says. "Turn on the TV or music, we're newlyweds," Liam replies before opening a door and leading me into a bedroom. It's painted in a tan color with a large bed in the center and a door that I'm sure must lead to a bathroom. "Our flight's not horribly long, baby, but I need to be inside you," Liam says, arms up. I lift my arms and he strips my shirt off, before kissing and sucking on my neck and chest. He removes my clothes and his follow. Liam lays on the bed. "I want you to straddle my face," he says and helps me to do so. I grab the headboard as he pulls my hips down so he can thrust his tongue into my entrance. He moans and it feels amazing as he speeds up. "Oh, Liam, I'm so close," I moan, and Liam holds me down as I come hard. After he drinks me in, I scooch down and sink down, taking his entire length into my entrance. I've never done this, but Liam guides me as I ride him. It's incredible. "Yes, gorgeous, just like that," Liam moans, and it's not long before we come simultaneously and roar in pleasure. FFFFUUUCCCCKKK. After we catch our breath, we shower, and Liam lets me know we need to be seated in 20 minutes as we begin our descent. He leaves me to get ready, and I'm so glad Nadine and I bought new dresses before we left. I slip into a white sweater dress that ends at my upper calves and a pair of white heels. Hey, I just wanted to see if I could help. Nadine walks in, and I'm so grateful as she does my makeup and curls my hair. We leave it down. I know it's nerve-wracking, believe me, I remember when I first met the king and queen, but just be polite and follow my lead, and it'll be fine, she says with a warm smile, and we head to sit down and buckle up for the descent into the royals' private airstrip. Liam is holding my hand, looking very much a Leakin prince in his black suit and button-down shirt. I immediately calm down feeling his wedding band, and he talks to me about all sorts of things until we land and the plane comes to a stop. Liam undoes his seat belt as I undo mine and stands holding out a hand for me. Are you ready to see your home, my love? Liam asks as I take his hand and stand up. I'm ready to see our home, I reply, and he grins before kissing me lovingly. We follow Alec and Nadine out of the plane and down the stairs. I take my first look at my new home and it's breathtaking. There's green hills with beautiful foliage all around. In the distance, I can see homes made of stone and wood, and they remind me of the cabin and pack house of the Silver Lunar Pack. There's no skyscrapers like Portland, and everything adds to the surroundings. I'm enthralled at my new home. I feel Liam wrap his arms around me from behind, and he rests his chin on my shoulder. Well, what do you think, my love? He asks, and I smile. It's the most gorgeous place I've ever seen, like something from a fairy tale, I reply, and Liam kisses my temple. After a few minutes of looking, we climb into the limousine that's waiting, and I see our things being loaded into black SUVs. As soon as we're settled, the limousine starts driving, and moments later Liam points out the window. If you look out there, you'll see our home, he says, and I'm surprised as I see a large mansion come into view. I was expecting a castle, but it's so modern and warm. That's the main house, where the king and queen live. It's also where all the ceremonies and kingdom things happen, Liam says, but then smiles as 3 smaller, but equally modern and gorgeous homes sit separated from one another. The closest is Alec and Nadine's home, the next is our home, and the third is for Noah and Marina, Liam tells me, then points out the cottages for the guards and employees. There's a gorgeous fountain, a garden, and 3 pools around the property, not including the private ones at our homes. Just as with the town, everything is a complement to the surrounding area. We drive through a guarded gate, and the entire property is surrounded by a tall fence. The limousine comes to a stop in front of the main house, and the driver opens the door. Alec and Nadine step out first, and step over to greet Queen Sophia, who is dressed in a red suit. Her beautiful black hair is half up and falls down her back. Next to her is a tall Leakin, who can only be King Thomas, and Liam is the spitting image of him, except King Thomas has streaks of gray throughout his black hair. Then my eyes land on the woman standing a bit away from the king and queen. She's got golden blonde hair, perfectly pulled up in a twist, and her dark eyes are filled with joy and excitement as she stares at the open limousine door. She's dressed in a pencil skirt that falls below her knees and a matching top. I know immediately it's Cecily, the female Leakin, who told the king and queen her and Liam were engaged. I know everything since Liam has been up front. I can't believe she is here, Liam growls. I'm sorry, my love. I turn to him and kiss him lovingly. Stop it. It's not on you. I tell him. We're together and married. Don't let her bother you, I'm not. Liam relaxes and steps out of limousine, turning back to offer his hand, which I take and step out. Liam holds my hand as we step up to greet his parents. You're right, my love, the resemblance is striking. I hear the king tell the queen. Liam kisses his mother's cheeks before she turns to me. It's so wonderful to meet our new daughter-in-law. She says, It's wonderful to meet you, Your Highness. I reply, Please call me Sophia, or Mom, we are family after all. She tells me before introducing me to the king, who also insists I call him Thomas or Dad. Please join us for dinner. I'm sure you're hungry after traveling all day. We'd love to. Liam replies after I nod to him. As we head into the main mansion, Cecily, who hasn't said a word, falls into step on Liam's other side. Liam, may I have a word with you in private? She asks, but Liam pulls me closer. As I've said before, Cecily, there's no reason we need to speak, and anything you have to say to me you can say in front of my wife. Liam replies. Cecily glares at me and starts to take a seat, when the queen looks at her and shakes her head. Cecily looks at her in confusion. We will address your lying to the king, and I in regards to your supposed engagement later on this evening. As you're aware, that seat is for the prince's mate and wife, which you are neither. The queen says with a cold stare, and Cecily immediately moves down the table. Liam pulls out my chair, and I sit before he sits between his mother and I. The king is on the queen's other side with Alec and Nadine across from us. Nadine smiles at me. Our plates are served, and it's steaks, mashed potatoes, green beans and bread. It smells incredible and melts in my mouth. As we eat, everyone chats. Liam, my dear, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear more about you. The queen says, Well, I was adopted as an infant by my parents, after my biological parents were killed in a traffic accident. I don't know anything about them. My father was beta in the Burgundy River Pack, where I was raised. I explain. I'd love to speak with you further, Leah, if you wouldn't mind joining me after dinner. Liam, also, of course. The queen says, and Liam leaves the decision up to me. I'd love to. I reply, and she smiles warmly at me before we continue eating our dinner. After dinner, Liam and I head to our home to change into more comfortable attire before we return to the main mansion and join the queen in her study. Even in casual attire, she has a commanding presence. Leah, come sit by me, she says, and I sit beside her on the love seat, while Liam is in the chair beside me. Leah, I think I have surprising news to tell you. Your biological parents are alive and have been trying to find you since you were kidnapped as an infant, preparing for coronation celebration. The following afternoon, I'm at the mansion as the dress designer takes my measurements and sketches my dream gown after I describe it to her. I have to admit, it's strange having a ceremony planner and a one-of-a-kind gown made for me. So, Miss Leah, what colors are you thinking for the reception after your crowning? Riley, my planner, asks me as we sit with Sophia, Nadine and Marina in Sophia's study. My favorite colors are burgundy and purple, so I'd like tables outside with beautiful center arrangements of roses and tiger lilies. I don't want our guests squished together. I'd love lights hung in my colors over the dance floor and gorgeous tables with fancy napkins. I quickly look at Sophia. Do we have enough room on the estate? Of course, dear, and I can picture it now. It's going to be breathtaking. She smiles at me and I continue getting everyone's opinion on food and deciding. The only person who's seen my gown is Marina, since I want to surprise Sophia and Liam. I showed Nadine to make sure it's appropriate. I'm so excited. My burgundy dress is a mermaid gown that's satin, with a lace overlay and off-the-shoulder neckline. The sleeves are just lace. It's gorgeous. The ceremony is in 2 days, and I'm not sure it's going to be ready, but Liam says that's why the staff are working overtime. In 2 days, I'll become a Lycan princess. Part of me is sure that I'm dreaming and I'm half terrified I'll wake up still in the Burgundy pack house, being terrorized by Nikki and her clones. I'm not sure that will ever go away. Gorgeous, you all right? I'm pulled from my thoughts by my husband, who looks at me in concern. Yes, my love, just lost in my thoughts. I reply with a smile. He kisses me, taking my breath away. How did the ceremony planning go? Liam asks. Good but overwhelming. Glad it's finished, at least my part. I reply and Liam chuckles. I know it's not your thing, my love, but I appreciate you embracing it, so my mother informed me. She would appreciate your assistance with some royal duties. Liam says with a frown. I'm completely happy that she believes I'm ready, and after kissing him lovingly, we head to the main ballroom, which is also the throne room. As we enter through a side door, I'm surprised to see the room full of Lycans and wolves. What's going on? I whisper to Liam. It's a gifting day. Whenever there's going to be a crowning wedding or birth, we open the estate up to any Lycan or wolf to come and ask for something they need or desire. If it's within the royal family's ability to grant, we do so. He tells me and smirks. They're also here to see you. Me, why? I ask, feeling nervous, until Liam wraps his arm around my shoulders and I relax. Don't worry, I won't leave your side. They just want to see the new princess, he says, kissing me before we reach the king and queen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my new daughter-in-law and Princess Leah Caputo. Queen Sophia stands as I step beside her and smiles as the crowd applauds. I turn to the crowded room. Thank you for the kind introduction, Your Highness, and all of you kind citizens. Finding my soul mate and his loving, caring family has been the most incredible time of my life. I'm honored to start learning my duties and work with the rest of the royal family to assist, care for, and protect all of us. I say and see smiles throughout the room before the king and queen continue to greet those that have come. Liam stands next to his father, and I'm next to Sophia. Sophia is an amazing and caring queen. It shows as she greets and listens to each citizen who steps up. She doesn't just agree to their request, she discusses the request with them, going over all possible outcomes. Every single person walks away knowing that whether they received their request or not, our queen truly cares about them. It's inspiring. I learn a lot watching her, and she includes me in each interaction. By the time the room is clear and Liam and I have returned home for the night, I'm tired. My amazing husband runs us a bath, and it feels amazing. After we finish, we make love before curling up together and falling asleep. I dream of Liam and I with children. Our children travel with us as we serve our people. Our family is more than I've ever dared to dream of. Even if we never have children, Liam has given me a family who are loving and caring. After brunch, the next morning, Nadine invites me to go into town with her, and I'm very excited to see it. Liam and Alec insist we have 2 bodyguards, each accompany us, and we agree. After getting cleaned up, I get dressed in black slacks, a red long-sleeved top and my black flats. I twist my hair up, letting my curls fall over the twist, and kiss my husband as he heads into the mansion with Alec, and we slide into a black Yukon heading to town. So how are you feeling with everything you've been bombarded with? Nadine asks with an understanding smile. To be honest, I don't feel as overwhelmed and completely out of place as I had expected to feel. I reply. Of course, with all the encouragement and support I've received from all of you, I feel much more at ease. Nadine nods knowingly. I remember how terrified I was the day Alec brought me home. Like you, I had heard how the Leakin royal family were terrifying and didn't take kindly to outsiders my whole life. She admits. When Queen Sophia embraced me warmly and said she was thrilled Alec had found me, I nearly fainted. We both chuckle. Nadine has made sure I know that she's a phone call away if I have any questions or concerns, and I've come to truly feel close to my sister-in-law. We continue talking until our driver pulls up and parks in a lot at the beginning of town. We get out of the vehicle and with our bodyguards begin walking through town. This has to be the most gorgeous place I've ever seen. I still feel as though I've fallen into a fairy tale. I tell her as we step into the first shop we see. The inside is lined with floor-to-ceiling shelves on 3 walls, displaying intricately designed perfume bottles and music boxes. The natural light coming through the large windows on the other wall shows that no two treasures are alike. I could spend an entire day looking at each one. Oh, what a blessing to have the princesses in my store. May I show you anything in particular? A tall, beautiful Leakin asks as she smiles. Her eyes are the most intense and stunning I've ever seen. She has long, straight black hair that reaches her waist. I'm not surprised at this point. Leakin females are for the most part stunning. Actually, if you don't mind, I'd love to see that jewelry box on the top shelf on the far left. I reply, and she quickly goes to retrieve the item. She places the ruby red glass jewelry box on the counter. It has gold intricate leaves swirling down the sides, and the top has a beautiful crown with rubies. It's perfect. I'll take it. Do you by chance gift wrap? Do you even want to ask its cost? The shop owner asks. Every piece you have on display is clearly one of a kind, and this jewelry box is exactly what I need. She beams a smile and begins to gift wrap it as I pull my personal debit card out. I've kept it up to date, but haven't used it or the account since fleeing the Burgundy River pack. After we complete the sale, we say goodbye and continue on our journey. Your Highness, may I take your purchase back to the car, just to be on the safe side? One of my bodyguards, Sergio, asks, and I thank him before he heads to do so. I can't keep the smile off my face as we are greeted by the people we encounter. After finding a special gift for Liam, Nadine and I step out of the last shop when I hear a voice I had hoped I'd never hear again. Well, you must be very pleased with yourself, Leah. Nikki steps out of the shadow in front of us, and I'm stunned at her appearance. The Barbie doll she Wolf is dressed in black sweatpants that hang off her hips and a stained white t-shirt. Her hair hangs down past her shoulders and is oily, dirty blonde. She appears to have aged 10 years in the few weeks since I watched her pull Dante from the silver lunar pack house and into the car. Seeing her state, I feel nothing but sadness for her. Why is that? I inquire. Because of you, I've lost my mate, my home, and my reputation. I have to continuously relocate when word of my situation catches up to me. Nikki growls. I'm sorry for your predicament, however, I have nothing to do with it, I say, and she scoffs. You purposely seduced my mate after we marked one another numerous times. You convinced him to reject me as his mate and Luna. She accuses, and I know I don't need to defend myself, but I do. Nikki, everyone knows I never seduced Dante period, before or after you marked one another. You need to take responsibility for your life and relationship. I tell her before Nadine, and I walk around her and get into the waiting Yukon heading home. Tomorrow is my coronation ceremony, and I start my life as a princess and a member of the royal pack. I fall asleep and sleep through the night. Coronation ceremony and surprises. The moment I open my eyes it hits me, today is my coronation, and there's a small part of me that wants to hide under the covers until tomorrow. Just a small part though. Mainly I'm excited to start helping the royal family and our people. Having all eyes on me today is definitely making my stomach churn. Good morning, gorgeous, Liam says before kissing my neck as he pulls me closer. I love waking up in his arms. Good morning. How'd you sleep? I reply. I always sleep amazingly when I have my incredible wife in my arms. Liam says. How are you feeling about today? Honestly, I'm excited, but the thought that everyone will be watching me makes me nauseous. I tell him, what if I fall or the crown falls off my head? Liam chuckles. I have complete faith that you will be flawless and graceful, because what you don't seem to see that everyone else does is you're stunning even first thing in the morning. Liam says and kisses my neck again. Let's get our running gear on and head out, we have time. How you seem to know exactly what I need. I ask as we get up and get ready to run. Simple, you're my other half, my soul mate. You do the same for me, Liam says, and we head out starting our warm-up. The beauty and peacefulness of the area still enchants me. This is where I'm supposed to be. We make it to the lake and sit on the shore, just watching as the fish jump and animals come down to drink or swim. After a half hour or so, it's time to head back to clean up for breakfast before I'll be pimped for the ceremony. Liam and I walk into the mansion's dining room and greet everyone. As soon as everyone sits, the staff bring out our breakfast of eggs Benedict, my favorite. I'm surprised that I'm actually hungry, as I was sure I'd be too nervous. As usual, the food is delicious. All right, let's get you ready. The moment the tables clear, Nadine, Queen Sophia and Marina start to take me to one of the suites, which is now my prep room. The hair and makeup up stylists begin as soon as I sit in front of the vanity, and I can't wait any longer. Nadine, could you grab the gifts? I ask, and she hands them to me smiling. I take out my gift for Sophia and hand it to her. She is surprised. This is just a small thank you for accepting me into your family and taking me under your wing. She smiles and opens it, lifting out the ruby red jewelry box, and we're all speechless when Queen Sophia has a tear rolling down her cheek. It's gorgeous, I love it. Having 2 male children, I always wanted a daughter. Now I have 2 that I adore and love, she says and hugs Nadine and I. After we part, I give both Nadine and Marina their gifts, and before I know it, I'm dressed and ready to head downstairs. We line up at the main doors to the throne room with Queen Sophia and King Thomas first. Her gown is off-white and very regal, her crown sitting on her head. King Thomas has his crown, and they both have their robes. Following the king and queen are crowned Prince Alec and Princess Nadine, who are also wearing their crowns and robes. Then there's Prince Liam, who is dressed similar to Alec, and myself, the only one without a crown. Liam keeps looking at me in my gown, and my hair curled and cascading down my back. You look so gorgeous, Liam says and kisses my cheek as Alec and Nadine walk into the throne room and stand beside the throne. I am stunned to see so many people here. As we walk toward the thrones, all eyes are on me. I kneel on the stairs in front of Queen Sophia, while Liam stands beside me. Queen Sophia stands and steps directly in front of me. Please stand, she says, and I do. Leah Caputo, do you vow to take on the responsibilities of Princess of the North and South American Pax, and do what you need to protect and lead our people? She asks. I do vow, Your Majesty, I reply. Is there any objection to the crowning of Leah Caputo? She asks the room and pauses, but no one speaks up. Princess Nadine hands her my crown, to which she placed on my head. Presenting Princess Leah Caputo. Congratulations! I'm embraced by the family before exiting with Liam. Once we return to the prep room, only this time the men join us. Liam pulls me aside. We have time, come walk with me, he says, and I nod before grabbing his gift. He leads me up to the roof of the mansion, where we can see the entire estate. He kisses me and I hand him my gift. This is to remind you always how much I love you and our family, I tell him, and he opens the present and his jaw drops. Really? I'm going to be a dad? He asks and I nod. The coffee cup I had made has a picture of us when we wed, and my ultrasound photo the royal physician gave me the previous morning when he confirmed my pregnancy. Liam picks me up, spinning us around. Easy, love, we're still early yet. The physician tested my blood yesterday as part of my physical for today and told me I didn't want to wait. I say, kissing him. We should only tell family until I'm further along. Thank you, Leah. I love you so much, Liam says, and we just look out over the estate for a bit before I notice 5 black limousines drive up the driveway and park in front. Who is that? They have regal flags like we do, but they're different. I ask my husband and he looks down. Well, it appears we have some guests to greet. He takes my hand and we head back inside. My stomach feels like hundreds of butterflies are inside it. Liam, tell me what's going on, please, I say, stopping in my tracks. I know you know who they are, I tell him. Liam wraps his arms around me and leans down, resting his forehead on mine, so we're looking into each other's eyes. Trust me, Leah, their arrival is a good thing, and I promise you'll understand in just a few minutes. Can you do that? He asks, and I know he'd never let anything happen to me. Of course I can, I trust you with my life, I reply, and we kiss lovingly before heading downstairs and out the front doors, where the family stands greeting the people who've arrived. The Queen is hugging one of them, while the King shakes an older man's hand, and even though I can't see their faces, I feel drawn to them. Oh, there they are, Liam. Leah, come here, Sophia says, gesturing for us to join them. I glance at my husband, who smiles at me. I won't leave your side, he says, and kisses me sweetly. We head over, but I freeze moments later as the woman next to Sophia turns towards us, and I'm looking at a slightly older but gorgeous version of myself. Liam stops, also as the woman, who could only be my mother, and I stare at one another. It's her, that's my mother, she's here, I whisper, and Liam pulls me into his side. Yes, my love, the results from the DNA show a match, Liam replies, and we move to join the family. It's true, you're so gorgeous, my mother says as tears roll down her cheeks. I was so afraid I'd never see you again. I am suddenly hugging my mother and crying. I can feel deep inside that this is my mother, my family, and for the first time ever I feel like I've answered the one question I've always held in my soul. We hug for a while before separating, but she holds my hand, while Liam holds my other hand. It's wonderful to see you, Aunt Amelia and Uncle Ernesto. It's been a long time, Liam says and hugs my mother and shakes the man's hand. Oh, Liam, you've brought our daughter to us. Congratulations on finding your soulmate, the man says before smiling at me. I'm Ernesto, your father, and I'm so happy to meet you, he says, and I release my mother and Liam's hands to hug him. I'm so happy to meet you both. This is such a fantastic surprise, I say and step back to my husband's side. I'm sure you all have a lot to talk about, but we need to join your coronation reception, sweetheart, Sophia says, and I know she's right. I turn to walk to the reception, but pause when more people exit the limousines, and I know their family. The resemblance is uncanny. Wow, no question, you're our sister. A man who looks like my father steps forward, cradling an infant, with a woman who's carrying another identical infant. They walk over to us, and you can tell everyone is nervous, but Liam breaks the ice by hugging the man. Devin, it's good to see you, Liam says and smiles. My love, this is your brother Devin, who I grew up with. It's wonderful to finally meet you, Devin says. This is my wife and soulmate Elizabeth, and our twin sons Giorgio and Gino, he says and hugs me with one arm before I hug his wife and adore his sons. Don't forget me. Another man walks up with a grin. Hello, Leah, I'm your brother Zachary, he says, and I hug him. I'm overwhelmed and happy when the final brother, who's obviously the youngest and still a teenager, steps up. He smiles warmly. I'm the youngest brother and my name is Christian, he says, hugging me tightly. I've wanted to meet my big sister my whole life. I'm so happy you're all here. I can't wait to spend more time with you all, I say before we all go to my reception, and immediately people start whispering about how much I look like my mother and what this means. After we sit, Sophia gets my attention and whispers, Sweetheart, are you okay with my announcing what has happened, or they'll gossip all evening? She asks, and I know she's right, so we nod and smile. Sophia stands and everyone goes quiet. As you all can see, Princess Leia is joined by her family, and my close friends Queen Amelia and King Ernesto. We will make a statement in a few days, but tonight let's all enjoy Princess Leia's reception. She sits and everyone nods. The reception is exactly as I'd envisioned and everyone has a great time. After the festivities and I say goodbye to the people as Liam and I stand by the front driveway. After the final guests drive away, it's late and I'm exhausted. Sweetheart, we're staying in the mansion, so how about we meet up tomorrow after breakfast and talk? My mother says, smiling, and I agree. After saying goodnight, Liam and I head home, and I'm so hot for my husband. The moment we're in our room and Liam has helped me out of my gown, we go at it. We make love till dawn. The past is brought to light. After Liam wakes me up a few hours later, we decide to take a run before getting cleaned up for breakfast. After pulling on our workout gear, we start out on our warm-up. We stop at the fountain in the middle of the rose garden and sit on the edge. So how are you feeling? A lot to take in, Liam asks, pulling me into his side. As soon as I met them, especially my mother and father, I knew they were my family. I say, it's going to take some getting used to the whole having brothers. Well, they are good guys. I've known them a long time. He starts telling me stories of my brothers and has me cracking up. You're kidding, you guys seriously did that? I ask my husband as he tells me about Devin, and he breaking into the headmaster's office and taking the morning announcements, unplugging the microphone, setting his office phone to ring every 2 minutes from an untraceable number, and putting whoopee cushions under every cushion. Yes, and we would have gotten away with it too if a certain husband hadn't completely spaced switching the cameras back on instead of leaving the recording going. Devin says, smiling as he and Elizabeth walk over, both dressed in running gear. Good morning, seems we're not the only ones who like to run early. Elizabeth says, smiling. Hope we're not interrupting. Of course not, good morning. I reply. Did you sleep well? Elizabeth sits beside me, while Devin sits beside Liam. It's obvious they're close and need to catch up, so I turn to my sister-in-law. She is wearing black leggings with sunflowers on the top and bottom, and a matching fitted long-sleeve top. Elizabeth has beautiful long black hair and blue eyes, as well as you can with twin infants. But our suite is beautiful. She says, how are you doing with the whole surprise you have a family thing? I laugh, knowing Elizabeth and I will get along fabulously. It's a bit overwhelming and I have questions, but I'm so happy you're here. I tell her. We continue chatting until it's time to head back and get ready for breakfast. We say goodbye and head to the house. Since it's the morning after my coronation, breakfast is a bit more relaxed than usual, and I'm thankful as Liam and I enter the dining room. Right behind us, Devin and Elizabeth walk in. Devin is trying to calm one of the twins, and it's not going well. I turn and smile. May I try? I ask, and he hands over the crying infant. I lift him onto my shoulder and start rubbing and patting his back. Gino starts to calm down and I keep patting. It's all right, Gino, just let that air out, so your tummy feels better. Moments after, he burps really loud and stops crying. I sit in my chair and notice the room's gone silent. I look up to see everyone looking at me. How did you know you had Gino? Elizabeth asks me. Easy, Gino has lighter blue eyes, while Giorgio has dark blue eyes. I reply and love on Gino until the nanny comes and takes the twins to be changed. The servers bring out our breakfast and everyone enjoys our steak and eggs. How about all of us men go fishing at the lake this morning and leave the ladies to talk? My father volunteers, and after they agree and take off, we decide to enjoy the sunshine and head out to the fountain. The staff have chairs and iced tea, coffee and fruit waiting for us, and we all get comfortable. We all just chat at first until my mother smiles at me. I'm sure you have questions, Leah. She says. Can you tell me what happened? Who took me? I ask her, and even though it's painful, she nods. Marina pours each of us some iced tea, and my mother drinks half of her glass before setting it on the table and sitting back in her chair. When you were born, your nanny, Greta, started helping me take care of you immediately, as most do. Greta appeared to truly care about both you and I, and took wonderful care of you. Imagine my surprise when one night, after nursing you, I was taking you back to your nursery, when I heard voices in your father's office. I looked through the cracked door and saw Greta trying to seduce your father. Your father pushed her away and demanded she pack her things and be gone by morning. As she turned to leave, he told her to stay away from you. My mother drinks the rest of her tea. I insisted on keeping you in the small nursery that was next to our room and had an adjoining door that night with the assistant nanny. If I'd known Greta would take you, I'd have insisted you be in our room. I woke up 3 times that night and went to check on you, and each time, you were sleeping safely. My mother is crying and I get up to hug her. I'm sorry you don't have to continue, I say, but she smiles and I sit in my chair. The next morning I woke up to your father roaring out orders, and I rushed to your nursery to find the assistant hog-tied and gagged, and you were gone. We searched all over the castle and estate, and even had the guards checking flights and buses. It took us hiring a private investigator a month and a half later to discover Greta and one of the junior guards had flown to the United States. We chased the leads down until they were killed in an accident in the West Coast, and we couldn't find any sign of you. She pauses to breathe and calm down. We've spent every day since trying to find you, but nothing until my best friend called and said her new daughter-in-law looked just like me, and she'd already sent DNA to be tested. As soon as it arrived, we had the tests ran and it was a match. We immediately got things in order and came as soon as possible. When she finishes, we all are quiet for a little while as we absorb what she's shared. Wow, so why do you think she took me? I ask. We learned shortly after Greta disappeared with you that when she first started as your nanny, she was pregnant. Sadly, the father rejected her and the child, and she lost the child at around 8 weeks. All we can do is guess that in her warped logic, she saw you as her child. My mother says, part of me is so angry at the woman who stole me from my family, stole me from my life. But the other part can't regret being raised by my adopted parents, growing up with all the love they showed and having Rachel as my sister. If I hadn't been taken, would I have found Liam? Leah. I'm pulled from my thoughts to realize it's now just my mother and I. Everyone else has left us to chat. I'm sorry, I kind of lost myself in my thoughts, I reply, and she chuckles. Totally understandable. You've had a lot of information thrown at you, and a lot of change in a very short period of time. Please don't apologize, she says with a loving smile. Please know if you have any questions at any time, day or night, you're more than welcome to come to your father or I. Thank you. From the moment I saw you yesterday, I've felt connected to you all. It's a feeling I've never truly experienced before, that family connection. I tell her, and she beams a smile. If it's not too much trouble, could you tell me about your life? I already know of the terrible things you had to endure after your adoptive parents passed, and I'm truly in awe of your strength. I'd love to hear of your childhood and your time with the Silver Lunar Pack before Liam found you, she requests hesitantly. I take her hand in mine and proceed to tell her everything I remember, and we laugh and shed a few tears together. By the time we're finished, the afternoon has flown by. We're not interrupting anything, are we? We look up to see my father and Liam approaching with loving smiles. My mother and I stand and greet our husbands with loving kisses. No, we were just catching up, my mother replies. Well, good. It's time to freshen up for dinner, Liam says, and we part to do so. You seem at ease, my love, Liam says as we walk to our home. I am. What I really need now is to be with you, and after dinner Isis needs time with Zeus, I reply, and my husband takes me in a sex-filled shower before we head to dinner. I'm so happy, and while I enjoy my life, I can't help feeling like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Settling into my new life. A few weeks later. My love, the doctor is here for your checkup, Liam says as he walks into our bathroom, where I'm putting on my shoes. He kisses me lovingly. All right, I'm ready, I say, standing up and taking my husband's hand. Today, I'll have my ultrasound and find out exactly how far along I am. We can also find out the gender, but Liam and I agree we'd rather be surprised, so only Marina and Noah will be told, mainly so they can plan the baby shower Marina insisted she throw for us. My family had to return home after staying a week in Liam, and I keep putting them off since we've only told Marina and Noah we're expecting. My middle brother Zachary has stayed with us since he wanted more time to get to know one another. Good afternoon, Your Highnesses, Princess. If you could change into this gown, and I'll step out of the room and get settled on the bed, that would be perfect. Alfred, the royal family's doctor, says before leaving the room. We've set the downstairs guest suite up as my exam room and delivery room. Liam helps me change and get settled before bringing him back into the room. All right, Princess, this may be a bit cold, but it's just the gel for the ultrasound. He explains each step as he goes, and pretty soon he is moving the wand over my slight bump and taking measurements. Congratulations, you are approximately 6 weeks along with identical twins, he says, turning the monitor so we can see our babies. Oh wow, twins, both Liam and I say as we cry a few happy tears and Liam kisses me. They are both doing wonderfully, and you should give birth at about 10 to 12 weeks, the doctor says, and I'm shocked. I'd forgotten how quickly leak-in pregnancies are. Well, I knew Wolf pregnancy was 2 to 3 months, and it appeared leak-in pregnancy was the same. Any restrictions, doctor? Liam asks. No strenuous activity. I'd prefer Leah not travel until after the twins arrive. Other than that, keep doing what you're doing. I'll come by in 2 weeks to check you again, he says and leaves. Liam helps me get changed, and we spend the rest of the day watching movies. Zachary, Noah, and Marina join us a bit later. Since we've decided to share our news at dinner, we decide to tell Zachary first. So I grin at him as he sits beside me on our sofa. Okay, why are you looking at me like that, Leah? It's tripping me out, Zachary says, and I chuckle. I'm going to tell you a secret before anyone besides those in this room knows, I say, grinning as he gets an excited look in his baby blue eyes that match my own. Tell me, he says. How do you feel about being an uncle again? I ask, and he hugs me. Really, you're pregnant? Zachary asks. Yes, my amazing wife is pregnant with twins, Liam answers with a grin that matches my brother's. They bro hug, and we finally start the movie. I end up falling asleep against Liam's side 20 minutes into the second movie. When I wake up, everyone's gone but Liam and I. Sorry to wake you, sweetheart, but we must get cleaned up for dinner. They're going to be so surprised, Liam says before kissing me sweetly and helping me up. We quickly head upstairs to shower and clean up. An hour later, we walk into the dining room of the mansion and see that we're the last to arrive. Sophia gets up and greets us with hugs. Oh, Leah, sweetheart, you look beautiful, she says, and I'm very glad I wore my new dress. It's white satin that ends just above the knee with a white lace pattern over it that drops below my knees. It's off the shoulder, and I am wearing matching white stilettos. My hair is pinned up in a bun with curls framing my face. Thank you. You look amazing as usual, I reply. Her black knee-length dress has sheer long sleeves and her hair is down. She makes anything look regal. After Liam pulls out my chair for me and I sit down, he smiles. Before we start, Leah and I have some wonderful news to share. He looks at his mother and father. We're expecting. My amazing wife is pregnant with twins. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're going to be grandparents. Congratulations. Thomas says, and Sophia hugs me again. Congratulations, brother. This is wonderful. Alex says, hugging us both. Nadine follows, and we all sit as the staff bring out our chicken dinners. We fill everyone in on dates and other information, including the fact that Marina is throwing a gender reveal for us. She finally tells us that it will be the following Saturday in the Rose Garden, and Nadine and Sophia immediately volunteer to help. After dinner, the three disappear to make plans, and Liam and I return home to make love and sleep. It's been an eventful day. Saturday afternoon. It's time for our gender reveal, and I hold my husband's hand as we walk down to the Rose Garden. I'm wearing a fitted floor-length light blue dress with pink flowers and my white wedge sandals. I have my hair pulled up in a clip and love my curls cascading down my back. I'm definitely showing now, and it really seems as if I went to bed with a barely there baby bump and woke up with an obvious one. But I'm not complaining. Other than some interesting cravings and my sex drive going off the charts, my pregnancy has been a breeze. No morning sickness, knock on wood. Liam has a blue button-up shirt that matches my dress and black pants. They're finally here. Marina hollers when we step into the Rose Garden, and I have to chuckle at her t-shirt that is black and in blue and pink lettering states, "Keeper of the Gender." Everything looks beautiful. You did an amazing job. Thank you. I say, hugging her, and she really did. There's pink and blue balloons all over, a voting booth for PPL to vote on gender, pink and blue cupcakes, juice, sweets. In the middle of all the tables is a table and chairs, just for Liam and I, with a gigantic box in pink and blue with question marks all over it. Well, have a seat, and I'll grab you some juice and finger food. Liam, would you like a beer? Marina says, and then heads to the bar. Everyone comes over to congratulate us, and it's like the whole town has come. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What am I to do with you two kids? Already knocked up. Liam and I both immediately recognize Alpha Jacob's voice and turn to see him grinning. He walks over and gives me a hug. It's great to see you kids. Seems we have a lot to catch up on, huh, princess? That we do. I'm so glad you came. I reply, knowing full well he doesn't go far from the packed territory normally. He hugs Liam and pulls up a chair. Please, when Marina called to invite me to your gender reveal, I immediately dropped everything into my beta's capable hands. No way was I missing this. He says, looking at the decorations. I smile. So word has it you have reconnected with your parents and are an actual princess. How are you holding up? Alpha Jacob has not changed, still offering me guidance. We visit for a while. My baby girl is having babies. You look gorgeous, sweetheart, you're glowing. My mother says, and I get up to hug my family. You came. I wasn't sure you'd be able to get away. I say as I hug my father, brothers and sister-in-law. Oh, sweetheart, we wouldn't miss this. My father says. We walk back to the table, and I introduce my family to Alpha Jacob. My mother hugs him, much to everyone's surprise. Thank you, Alpha Jacob, for protecting my daughter and giving her a home. My mother says, and they all start chatting. All right, it's time for the main event, Prince Liam. Princess Leah, please open the box. Marina announces, and we move to the box. Liam grabs one end of the ribbon, and I take the other. On the count of 3, pull. 1, 2, Liam hollers. 3, I yell, and we pull our ribbons. The box opens to an explosion of pink graffiti and huge balloons that say "Girl" in bright pink. Liam swoops me up, kissing me lovingly as we both beam. Girls. Everyone is thrilled and we have a wonderful afternoon and evening. The upcoming decision can wait a bit longer. Liam's POV. As Leah and I start to say our goodbyes to everyone who attended our gender reveal, I'm pulled away from the rose garden by Leah's brother and father. I'm pretty sure it's something important, as I know they wouldn't pull me away from my wife if it wasn't. We stop after walking a little ways away from the rose garden. I apologize for the interruption, but it's come to our attention that we may have an issue as to Leah's being the crowned princess of our kingdom. Devin says, and I realize he's correct, and my heart sinks as I realize that as the firstborn, Leah is next in line to take the throne after her parents step down, which means she would be moving to another continent. I know I can't live separately from my wife and children, from my anima gemella, my soul mate. I understand the seriousness of the situation. Let me talk to Leah tonight, and then we'll all discuss it tomorrow, I say, and they both agree. We head back to the family, and everyone helps us bring all the gifts we had been given to our home. After everyone else retired for the evening besides Noah and Marina, the four of us went up to the nursery, which connected to Leah and my room, and Noah and I began putting the cribs together. All right, my protective husband, why did my father and brother pull you away from the reveal? What were you discussing so seriously? My wife never misses a beat, and I decide having our closest friends there may help us gain a different perspective. Well, sweetheart, as you know, you are the firstborn child, and as such you're next in line to take the throne when your parents step down. I explain as I watch her facial expression. I'm not surprised to see her stay calm, and it's then I realize my amazing wife has already been thinking about this. How does my becoming queen of the European kingdom affect you? Leah asks, and I immediately stop working on the crib and lift her up, sitting down with her in my lap. As far as this kingdom, my brother is crowned prince. His children will be next in line after him. Whatever decision we make together. I tell her, and she kisses me lovingly. I love you so much, Liam. Leah says and snuggles into my arms. I love you so much, Leah. I reply and hold her tightly. Listen, let's not think about it tonight. Tomorrow we meet with both your family and mine to talk things over. Tonight we enjoy spending time with our best friends and getting our twins' nursery ready. That sounds amazing. So who's ordering pizza, 'cause I'm starving? Leah says, and I chuckle as I pull my phone out to order pizza. We enjoy hanging out with our friends for the evening, and after they leave I make love to my wife. I still can't get enough of her body. The following morning I wake up to my incredible wife's mouth around my hard length, and holy shit, it feels so good. Her sex drive has gone insane, and I'm so not complaining. Damn, baby, your mouth is amazing. I moan as she brings me closer to my release. It's not long before I roar my release and she swallows every drop. I pull her up and flip us over. We make love, and I swear every time is more incredible. I have never loved anyone as deeply or as intensely as I love Leah. I think about how she's pregnant with our daughters and how stunning she is with her baby bump as we shower and get ready for the day. It's not going to be an easy one, but as long as Leah and I are together, we'll get through this day and anything else life throws at us. I hear the bathroom door open and look up to see my gorgeous wife step into our room in a black dress with long sleeves, and it falls to her knees. She has black high-heeled sandals on and her incredible reddish-brown hair is left down, so the curls I love are falling down her back. I step towards her and kiss her lovingly. When she responds with a kiss, just as loving, my heart overflows. I have to step back so I don't say forget breakfast and just take her back to bed. Come on, gorgeous, we'd better get to breakfast, I say, taking her hand in mine as we lock up the house and head over to the mansion. Something occurs to me as we step out of the house and I grin. What's that grin about, my love? Leah asks. Well, I just realized we found out we were having girls, but have yet to discuss names. Any ideas yet? I ask her, and just by her smile I know she has some ideas. All right, let me hear them. All right, I love the names Bella and Bria. Or Bria and Mia. Leah says, and I immediately know she's right. Our daughters' names are Bella and Bria. It's perfect, Bella and Bria Caputo, I say, grinning, and Leah beams. We just named our girls. Leah chuckles, and we walk into the mansion and have a relaxing breakfast with our families. We tell everybody what the twins' names are and just visit until Leah's dad brings up the inevitable. I'm sorry to do this, everyone, but there's some decisions that have to be made, he says, and everyone gets serious. The room is silent and you can tell it's tense. Mom and Dad, Leah's mom and dad, Devin and his wife, Zachary, Christian, Alec and Nadine are all here, and no one seems to know exactly what to say. So let's get to the point. Leah is the crowned princess of your kingdom, and as such she ascends the throne once Ernesto and Amelia step down. Correct? My dad says, and of course his amazing diplomatic approach to any situation has helped the tension ease. Correct? If she wants that, Amelia replies. She gives Leah a warm, loving smile. Could you clarify, Mom? What do you mean if I want that? Leah asks, and I'm pretty sure the entire table is wondering the same thing. Aunt Amelia chuckles. Yes, of course. You see, as time went by and we had no leads to your whereabouts, your father and I and our guides decided to start training Devin to take over seeing, as he is next in line. She explains, and I see my wife look at Devin questioning. What do you want, Devin? What do you and Elizabeth want? Leah asks her brother, and judging by the surprise in her parents' and brother's expressions, they were definitely not expecting her to ask that. Devin immediately smiles and stands up. I'd like to speak privately with my sister and our mates for a few, and then we can continue this conversation, if the two of you are okay with that, Devin says as he holds his hand out to his wife so she can stand. I look at Leah in mind link. Are you all right with this? I ask. Yes, if you are also. She replies, and we both stand up and the four of us head to one of the sitting rooms and close the door. Once we're all seated and Leah grabs us all some waters from the small fridge, Devin starts. I'm sorry you're having to make such a big decision when we just found you a few weeks ago, Devin says with a genuine concern showing on his face. Thank you, brother. It's been a bit of an overwhelming whirlwind, Leah replies. She snuggles into my side. But I want to know what the two of you want. It's not just Liam's and my decision of future. Honestly, I've trained to be king for years, but I've always felt it's a responsibility, not necessarily my passion, Elizabeth, and I want to do what you and our people need us to do, Devin says, and Elizabeth agrees. They are incredible, and I can tell Leah feels the same. After a few minutes of silence, Devin smiles. Elizabeth just had the best idea. She was thinking that this is too huge to decide before even seeing our kingdom. So let's wait, and after the twins are born, and a little older, why don't the two of you and the twins come visit for a few weeks? We'll show you around. Plus Mom and Dad would be so happy to see the girls. Leah beams a grateful smile and looks at me. Of course, my love. Elizabeth, this is a great idea. That's what we'll do, I reply. It won't screw anything up if we wait to decide. Leah asks. No, Mom and Dad don't plan on stepping down for at least a few years, as long as you're okay with if something happens and they can't fulfill the responsibilities of the throne that Elizabeth and I take over, Devin says nervously. Of course I am, Leah says, and stands up before walking over to her brother and hugging him and Elizabeth. Let's go tell everyone else the plan. The family are very supportive and agree to our decision. We visit with everyone until we retire for the night. Leah's family is flying home early in the morning. Zachary decides he wants to stay with us until after the twins are born, or whenever he wants to leave. He and Leah are getting to know one another, and it makes me happy to see her finally having the loving family she deserves.